we're back for the Friday morning commute. This is your host, Rovin Doug, tuning in on his quick commute to work since he's 2 hours late. Got a new mattress, overslept, fun jazz. So here we go. Xur. So Xur this week has his usual collection of semi-decent and what are they thinking exotics. For the Titan, we have the Paragon Greaves leg armor. My recommendation is get them if you don't have them, especially if you're a melee Titan. You can shoulder charge and kill about most anything, especially in air. So go ahead and get them. For the Hunter, you have the Crest of Alpha Lupi. I haven't had any experience or really looked into these any. If you're a collector, get them. If they suit your character at all, I would go ahead and get them. With us, like 3 weeks away from year 2 beginning, I'm not worried about getting them. Just for the fact that I don't need them. My main tune, my really only leveled up tune is a level 33 Warlock that I'm trying to get to level 34 to run through Skolas for the Moments of Triumph. So my time and energy is going to be focusing on that. For the Warlock, we have the Apotheosis Veil. Decent looking helm. It's still a year 1 1.0 helmet. I'm going to say like year 1.0 for release, year 1.1 for the Dark Below, year 1.2 for House of Wolves. So that's my current mental naming scheme. Seems like it's a decent helmet. I remember looking at it at some point going, this is alright. It may be better than Obsidian Veil. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Like I said, if it doesn't help me get to level 34, I'm not going to focus on it. And since it's year 1.0, I'm not really going to focus on it. For the weapon, we have the Plan C fusion rifle. It's a decent fusion rifle. I want to say that there are possibly some others that are better, especially raid-specific fusion rifles. However, I do enjoy using it. I use it quite frequently in the Vault of Glass because it is a decent oracle killing machine when you need a burst of damage to destroy them. So, if you're a collector, get it if you don't have it. And if you just have the strange coins and don't have it already, I would go ahead and get it. Primarily so when year 2 drops, you'll have the blueprint for it. At that point, you can dismantle it, get your exotic shard, and then remantle it or rebuild it later if you need it, or if it has a year 2 variant of it. I'm not sure if it will. However, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially even if you don't have it already. So, what else? You have the exotic shard, which you can buy from Xur, and then you have the Gauntlet exotic engram, which is, it's a legendary based engram, so you have a really good chance at getting a I said a legendary exotic, it's just an exotic engram, so you have the chance of getting an exotic gauntlet piece. So if you want to roll the dice, you have the strange coins for it, and no, that one takes Motes of Light. So if you have the Motes of Light and don't have a specific gauntlet, then go ahead and purchase it, or purchase a few. It will behoove you to do it. So, aside from Xur, this week we had the Shield Brothers strike reveal. Overall, I'm excited. These strikes seem to be going in the right direction. And combined with some of the information from the Bungie weekly update, the thing they're making changes to the in-game that are going to make it more enjoyable to run through repeatedly and see what all you find. So, you have these in-game strikes that have variable. Hey, Dinosaur Rex, how you doing? So you've got these in-game strikes that are going to have variable pieces, boss battles with actual mechanics involved versus being bullet sponges. You have some of the things like from the Bungie weekly update, they're taking away the fact that on a nightfall, if you wipe, you go to orbit. So you have the 30-second respawn timer. You have the reset to the darkness point. Thank goodness it's Friday. You have the removal of the weekly heroic strike for the creation of a new strike playlist. And you're guaranteed a exotic engram, I believe, if you complete one of the end game strike playlist. A lot of the end game material is being bumped up to have a level close to level 40 difficulty, so they're creating a lot of needed changes, but then they're also making it so people will play the storyline. People will go through and land on Phobos and go from Phobos to defeating Oryx to then playing the strikes and potentially the raid and beyond on the way to level 40. Yanosaurus Rex brings up the point that he's not fond of the no kickback to orbit. In his opinion, it's what makes a nightfall, and I agree. The only really source of information I gleaned from the Bungie weekly update is the fact that they didn't want to make the nightfall seem like you had to play too safe in order to get through. Now, would it behoove them to maybe kick you back, not to orbit per se, but to the very start of the map? Maybe. Or divide the maps into 2 points where you have to get through the first point to create an invisible checkpoint, and then you go through the second part, and if you wipe before the end, then you go back to this halfway point, instead of wiping to the beginning of the darkness zone. So you could get through like 4 or 5 darkness zones. After darkness zone 3 is a checkpoint, so the 4th, 5th, and say the 6th checkpoint is the boss. The 6th darkness zone is the boss. You wipe at the boss, you're back, and you have to fight through all of those. Now, the only complication I can see from that is you're going to have people going, but I just did this over and over and over. So, it'll be interesting to see how the change to Nightfalls work. You do have the burns, so that changes weapons. Now you have the burn resists on armor pieces. So, Yanosaurus slightly agrees with me. Give it 1 checkpoint instead of 3 to 4. So, or maybe you run the entire map under darkness. Like, instead of the different darkness zones at masses of enemies, you pretty much go through, and then from the first darkness zone, you have darkness to the very end. So, it's a possibility. We'll see. We may find that and to be honest, one of the things they may have done with the Nightfall change is seeing the amount of people actually playing the Nightfall, doing it early on, which they noted that they weren't fond of the fact that people were running the Nightfall extremely early in the week to get the buff. So they're removing the buff, trying to figure out something better for that, and they're kind of rescaling the goods better. Oh yeah, I'm super excited. One of the things they noted for disk space. So for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One users, you only need like 14 to 15 gigabytes of space extra. For the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 users, it's a little different. Xbox needs 10 gigabytes more. PlayStation 3, you're going to actually need like 20 gigabytes more. You'll have to have 10 to download, reinstall, and then another 10 to install. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to go home tonight, and while my wife is out playing Bunko with her lady friends, to see what the disk space on my 360 looks like, and make the choices to create room. I'm hoping that I have enough, and that when the Taken King drops, I'll be able to get it. I haven't been able to pre-order it off the Xbox Live Store at all, which for a 360 user, it kind of makes sense. Sucks, but that's what we get for being last gen. Super excited about the Taken King, though. All around, it's going to be awesome. Oh, for those of you interested in the Weapon 2.0 patch that will drop, it's going to drop September 8th. So we will be having that patch drop. You need to make sure you have enough disk space after the patch in order to download the Taken King. So, driving into the sun now. Watch as my arms start radiating white light because I'm outside almost none. So we'll need to make sure. It'll be interesting to see how the weapon mechanics work now. They always mention data mining and have the heat maps for the Trials of Osiris maps, especially the first 4 or 5 weeks. That's something I really enjoy seeing. See, Ionosaurus, thanks for stopping by the Friday morning commute. That's one of the things that I enjoy is, as a software developer, is looking at the data and seeing how, kind of the statistics of how people use things. And for a software development company to be able to publicly acknowledge that they go through and look and see and try to create a better experience from this data, it's a positive and encouraging aspect of Bungie. So, while, Destiny Year 1 may have had its caveats and the issues that some of the people saw, it's going to be an even better Year 2, just from what we've seen so far. I'm excited about some of the new exotics. I'm excited about some of the revamped Year 1 exotics coming forward into Year 2. I'm excited about the new Crucible. It's going to be great. Well, I've got to sign off. Thank you for stopping in. If you'd like to watch this later, feel free to check it out on YouTube. youtube.com/user/RovenDoug. You can also follow me on Twitter if you're checking this out from Periscope, twitter.com/RovenDoug. And feel free to also check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/RovenDoug. My Xbox Live gamer tag is Halo's Ghost. So this is Ghost checking out. Bye!